As the prophet of esports, I rely on trustworthy and meaningful data every day. Data from our research partner YouGov offers the most complete view of esports fans and gamers in the world, providing context to who they are, what they think, the brands they buy, and things they do. YouGov's connected insights and research services inform strategy at every level. If you're a team, a brand, agency, or rights holder, you should be talking with YouGov. Their partners measure and maximize ROI and are telling compelling stories with data. Visit yougov.com/gaming-esports to learn more.
I just want to mention this one. This is a quick one because it matched an article we talked about last week. And we may get to a lightning round here in a second, guys. But this one was Twitter reports gaming delivered 2.4 billion tweets in 2021. So huge amount of tweets related to gaming on Twitter. But if you look at the most tweeted about games, do you guys remember, I don't have it up, but the story we did last week about the games that generated the most revenue on Steam and that were played the most and the whole bit? Genshin Impact and Apex were up there, if you guys remember. And they were also number 1 and 2 in the most tweeted about games. Anyone surprised to see sort of the top 5 here most tweeted about games? Or even the top 10? Anyone surprised that Call of Duty is not on here whatsoever?
If it was, it would have been for angry tweets.
I was just thinking that.
That was my question. That's why I asked that.
Can you read the top 10? It was hard to see.
Sorry, I'll read the top 10. In the top 10, Genshin Impact number 1, Apex number 2, Ensemble Stars 3, Final Fantasy 4, FGO Project 5, Animal Crossing 6, Game Knives Out 7, Minecraft 8, PJ Sakai 9, Fortnite 10. There's a lot that's not on this list. Jimmy, sorry, go ahead.
No, I mean, I think it speaks more towards what gamers are using Twitter as opposed to what games are popular in general, right? This speaks towards that overlap. Because if we were going to look at the most posted about on Instagram or on TikTok or YouTube, all these would change, and I'm sure plenty would fall off. Interesting that Fortnite's in that top 10 still. You know, it's holding strong, even though it's had a rough 3 or 4 years now. Animal Crossing on Twitter, because I always thought Twitter aged a little older because of all the news content there. So I don't know if that's people like my fiance that are playing Animal Crossing who never let me play it because she was always using our Switch. But honestly, the coolest thing about that list to me is Apex, because I think Apex is a great game. A lot of people were leaving COD for it and other games. It had a great resurgence this year. And, they need to look at that data and see that people are talking about them and figure out a way to capitalize and hold strong and not lose out to Splitgate and Halo and all these other titles that are really making FPS a competitive space. So I would just say that's a Twitter list, not a anything else list, but it's still pretty cool to look at and analyze.
I mean, this is why I was a little bit surprised, because Apex and Fortnite on the top 10 and no Call of Duty. To me, Call of Duty was the big, like the one that you can, because they have Call of Duty Mobile also, with 100 million whatever players. Am I wrong to conclude that maybe I have my doubts about the Call of Duty numbers? I don't know if I'm jumping into too big of a conclusion. The data doesn't seem to fit.
Well, you can see the Call of Duty numbers very easily, right? Because they break out by segment, and it's the only thing that Activision actually makes.
It's reported by Activision Blizzard, right?
Well, it's like their SEC gap reported, revenue numbers. I don't think they're like. Unless you're going to call it like a complete accounting scam.
No. What I'm saying is I don't know. Again, because especially in Asia, like it's easy to sort of play with user numbers and things like that, right? Like someone who downloads Call of Duty plays it once and then never plays it again. Like, do they call that a user? I'm just, when I see no discussion around a game, which is really what this article's about, right? It makes me a little worried that what's happening with the game in an underlying way. That's
a good point. I mean, it's certainly not. It's a worrying trend if you're your Activision. I would say, like to Jimmy's point or someone's joke earlier, it would be interesting to see sentiment around the, like, I forget, there's a bunch of these services where you could track sentiment as in addition to mentions. It would be interesting to see if any of these were up there for negative reasons. Nothing immediately comes to mind, but like, you know, to your point with the Vanguard launch, obviously there could have been some negative tweets about that. Same thing with Halo. A lot of these New World, a lot of these negative, you know, launches.
INUBS has an interesting point here, which I think could be one of the reasons. This could be split between Vanguard, Warzone, Mobile, all as separate games, not being collected as one. That's true. It could just be a case of the chatter is split among all those different properties.